with you since the win?
Okay.
Honestly, I've been super busy. I went straight to Australia like 2 days after for a little much-needed vacation, and then I'm right back here in Vegas next UFC.
Have you been training at all? Are you preparing for your next fight? What's going on with that?
I'm training just to stay busy a little bit. I actually went to jiu-jitsu a couple times this week and got a stripe on my purple belt, so that was really cool.
Was there any needed time for you to kind of decompress after the whole Ultimate Fighter experience and being in front of those cameras for so long?
Definitely. Honestly, I still feel like I need a little bit of time to decompress. It's such a long, experience preparing for the show. It's pretty much like a year-long process. So I'm sure I'll have a little bit of time between my next fight where I can just chill out a little bit and train without that pressure of having the fight.
What does it mean to you, though, now to have to defend that title and keep that run going? Is that even more pressure than initially going after it?
Well, going after it was a lot of pressure, especially having to do with the show and having everything together. So every fight is a lot of pressure. I wouldn't say it was more pressure than the title because, that was the first ever UFC Strawweight champion. So for me, that's such a historical fight, and that had kind of more pressure than I think I could ever have.
How much did having the Invicta experience help prepare you for all of this and the big platform at the UFC?
I think the fact that I was the Invicta champ just shows that I had a long road to get even to that point. So I think just the years of experience really helped me in this process and in this last fight.
Have you gone back over the fight card that happened the Ultimate Fighter Season 20 finale and maybe have your eye on anybody in particular that you'd like to take on?
I actually tried to check it out a little bit on Fight Pass, but I couldn't find it. I saw a couple of the fights, and I thought the fight card looked really great with a lot of talent. Even people that I fought in the house, I'm like, oh my gosh, they are scary. They look really good in their fights. Angela Hill looked phenomenal. Jessica Penne looked great. Tisha Torres looked great. They all pretty much dominated their fights. So, just everybody looked great on that card.
And did you watch the fight between Claudia and Joanna, and how did you score it?
I actually did watch a fight between Claudia and Johanna, and it was a great fight. It just depends on what you score more. I'm not a judge, but for me, it was a very close fight. There was a knockdown, and it was a bloody fight. It was a really good fight, entertaining. I drifted slightly towards Claudia winning it, but you know what? My next opponent is Johanna. She looks really good, so I'm just gonna get ready for her.
Is that official, or is that what you expect?
It's what I expect. I don't, trust me, I've been asking and I haven't heard anything yet of the time of my next fight or the official opponent. I'm expecting Johanna because, that's what I'd heard. I even read an article where Dana White said that's most likely going to be the next contender. So that's just what I'm thinking.
But you already got your eye on her. What can you tell us about her? What do you expect to face when you face her?
Johanna obviously has great striking, very powerful. I don't think there's a lot of girls who can get knockouts and, in the lighter divisions. I mean, it happens, but a little bit more rare. So to have her be so powerful, I know she's very dangerous and, she could knock me out. Has very good takedown defense. So I know it's just going to be a hard fight.
You think she earned it? She earned that shot at your belt?
I think she earned it. She fought somebody who was arguably, one of the top 3 in the division. So I definitely think that she earned her spot.
How has life changed for you? I mean, in terms of you coming home and having to talk to everybody, what was your expectation when you got home and how people reacted to you being the champion?
Honestly, a lot of what has changed for me is I see just via the numbers, because I went out of the country for a week and then it's been Christmas, so my life has been pretty nonstop, which I think comes with, being the champion. There are a lot of obligations, but the social media aspect of it, I'm like, whoa, there's so much more attention on me now. And I definitely feel like I have eyes on me, and I always have to, do the right thing and be careful of what I say and represent myself as a champion.
What did it mean for your team? I mean, I know this is a long time coming for Colin and those guys.
Yeah, I think my coach trained Rampage for a long time, but I think at that point when he got the belt, they weren't together. So I think the last UFC belt that my coach brought home was Tito. So I think my coach is one of the best coaches in the business, and for me, he deserves this. It just proves. Coach brought me up from the beginning. It just proves that my coach is amazing, and I think, I don't know, honestly, it's hard for me to talk straight just because I'm so emotional. I'd like to bring this to our gym, and it's been a long time coming, and hopefully my teammate Ian McCall is next.
were you were we done? Were you surprised Claudia lost? Because I mean, she was the #1 contender going into that fight, and that was, I wouldn't say it was she was going to win, but no, she was expected to fight you.
Yeah, Johanna was definitely the underdog in that fight, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way fights happen sometimes. Maybe Johanna is just that good. Or it could possibly be that maybe she did get a little ahead of herself in that fight and just kind of like, oh, I already got this in the bag. Everyone's expecting me to win this. And I think that can be pretty detrimental going into a lot of fights.
Did it feel weird? Because when Rose came out of the house, the Ronda Rousey of the strawweights, you weren't the Ronda Rousey of strawweights, but did it feel, how did it feel? Just being the champ and being #1 ranked, but not being called, that person.
Honestly, I've been the underdog in, I would say, most of my fights that I've been in. For some reason, people tend to underestimate me a lot. It might be, I do have kind of a humble attitude. I never know what can happen, so that's just my mentality. I am like 5 foot tall. I am, there's a lot of things, and not only just with myself, but Rose looked phenomenal in the house. She had 3 amazing finishes against really tough opponents, so I understood why she got all that praise, and people really thought that she was going to win. But in the end, I came home with it, and that's what matters.
Did you get the Sunday yet?
Actually, I fly to New York tomorrow morning, and I'm going to get my $1,000 Sunday, so I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thanks.
Check out.